I've been doing this work for many, many years now. And one of the common things that I hear is people will say something like this. I was driving in this morning and I thought to myself, do I really need to come in? I'm feeling good. There's really no problem. I don't know if I really need this. Very, very, very common. And the session before, they might have been in terrible crisis. So they're working off this idea that you only come in as if you're in casualty or accident emergency in a hospital, and you only have a right to walk in the door if you've broken your back or you're bleeding to death. So we want to change in order to become a healthy person, acknowledging your needs, negotiating for your needs so that you can grow. We want to shift from a crisis lens in terms of value to a growth lens. And this is the point where a lot of people struggle. It's one of the reasons that people don't come in the first place. It's one of the reasons that people often leave early or when people struggle. So if a patient expresses that to me, I'm always really, really grateful that at least they're speaking the fact that I'm struggling with shifting from that crisis survival type lens towards this growth and thriving lens. And for many of my patients, it means that they haven't experienced sustained support with their healing and growth ever. So for them, taking a little bit, receiving a little bit is a very big deal. But receiving consistently is absolutely new territory for them. So you don't have to, one, be in crisis, but two, you don't have to know what to say. So people will often basically have the experience that I don't know what's wrong. And now that I'm here, I feel a little embarrassed that it's not a big deal, seemingly. But it's not acute, but it's chronic. There is a chronic ceiling. There is a chronic thing that's getting in the way of your perpetual growth. And often we die a slow death. We don't feel fully alive, and we feel the pain of being undernourished and those needs just not being fulfilled. So that is a serious issue. It might not be acute, it might not be a crisis or an immediate emergency, but it is serious, and it's not okay that you have to live with those needs not being met. So being able to articulate that is what a good therapist and what a good therapeutic team does. So part of the task as you elevate through different levels, which might just be at the very beginning, is that as a team, we learn to articulate what we are needing together. And that can be an extremely helpful process. So don't feel too much pressure if your brain shuts down. When we're hitting a new limit as well, the front of the brain, which takes care of language, actually gets turned off if we're heading into overwhelm as a result of doubt. If reaching out in the past or growth experiences have gone wrong for you, which is often the case, your mind and body are not going to be too confident moving into new territory, trusting others, asking for help. So they'll basically turn off the language centers of your brain. So the moral of the story here is that this is a team effort. You'll come up words for words to articulate what's going on and conceptualize it together. And that's doing the right thing. You don't have to take responsibility for that. And then the other is you most certainly don't have to be in crisis or really struggling to survive in order to legitimize coming in and asking for help. We are moving towards a growth lens. We are moving towards a life where you're thriving with more ease and working with more subtlety. So that is perfect practice.